Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's Niall, and I'm just here to give another reaction to another outstanding fight for an outstanding card, the Wembley Supercard on September 21st as part of the Riyadh season, Wembley Stadium. And this one will see Anthony the Apache Cacace defend his IBF Super Featherweight title for the first time when he faces the former two-time featherweight world champion Josh Warrington and who was looking himself to become a two-weight world champion. And this one is another cracker, as I mentioned, in a list of absolutely belting fights for this superb card. Kakachi, as I said, the first defense of his title, following on from a really big upset victory against Joe Cordina last time out in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. You know, we went in there as a big underdog against Cordina, the world champion, undefeated world champion, and he absolutely battered Cordina. It was an outstanding performance from Kakachi, relentless, vicious, spiteful, and yeah, it's a fight that probably could have been stopped and should have been stopped, but he won a deserved decision in the end, and he looked really, really good, you know, particularly the body shots, which was vicious. And, you know, credit to Cardina, he took one hell of a beating and stayed in there. But it was a shock. It was one of the upsets of the year last time out in Riyadh. And as a biased Irishman, I was delighted to see Kakachi get it done, especially when a lot of people consider him past his best. I haven't seen his best days. It's great to have another Irish world champion, especially in those circumstances. So, yeah, credit to Anthony Cacace. And it was, a lot of people blamed Cordina. Was he tight at the weight? You know, had he overstayed his welcome at 130? But you can't take anything away from how good that performance from Cacace was. So, yeah, Cacace getting it done last time out, and it was quite an interesting one how this developed, to be honest, because um, he was mandated to fight the really dangerous big punching Sugar Nunes next as his mandatory challenger. And that would have been a really, really tough fight for Kakachi, especially as a first defense. Big power. Sugar Nunes is a problem for absolutely anybody. He really is. So that would have been a nightmare stylistic matchup for Kakachi. But here we have it. It looks like Sugar Nunes has stepped aside from his position as mandatory challenger to allow Kakachi to take this voluntary defense against Josh Warrington. As I said at the start of the video, and as we all know, former two-time featherweight world champion, beating the likes of Lee Selby, Carl Frampton, Keith Galahad, Kiko Martinez, and yeah, stylistically great to watch. You know, relentless pressure, non-stop in your face for 12 rounds. One of the best engines in the game, to be honest with you. If we went back to the old 15 round days, Josh Warrington would excel in that as well. He's always amazing to watch, and of course, a great vocal backing from Leeds every time he fights, whether that be Leeds or somewhere else. They'll travel for him to see him. It's likely going to be the same here. So yeah, it's an interesting one. This it really is. Josh Warrington, of course, hasn't fought since last October when he was stopped by the WBA featherweight champion Lee Wood in his attempt to become a three-time world champion. It was a really entertaining fight while it lasted, and Warrington was doing really well. He was ahead in that fight, and he got caught and got stopped in a devastating loss. Of course, he's had other losses to Mauricio Lara, another huge puncher, and of course Luis Alberto Lopez, who he acquitted himself really well against. You know, especially considering what Luis Alberto Lopez has gone on to do since then. So yeah, he's rebounded well, and he's looking to move up now for his debut at super featherweight and into a new weight class and looking to win a world title in his first fight at the weight. So it'll be very interesting to see how he looks. Not only coming off the inactivity, it'll be nearly a year since he fought Lee Wood and got stopped, of course. So he's coming off inactivity on a stoppage. But I'm very interested to see how he looks at 130 pounds. I really am. Of course, not a notorious puncher at all, not a big puncher, which he's gotten a little bit of flack for. But will he carry more pop at 130? Will he be able to take a shot better at 130? Of course, he could take a shot, but let's see how much more durable he can be and how harder he's going to be punching up at the weight. So it's a lot of really interesting factors to consider here. There really is. This fight for me, to get into a breakdown, it's going to be grueling. It really is going to be a grueling war, and I can't wait for this one. I think stylistically it can't fail. Both men are going to come forward. Both men are going to be non-stop throwing, non-stop volume punching for 12 rounds. I do think it'll go the distance, but it's going to be fought in that phone booth. It really is, and it's going to be non-stop, all action, and a war in the Wembley in Wembley Stadium. It's going to be a great one. It can't disappoint for me. Style-wise, it can't disappoint. In terms of a breakdown, of course, as I mentioned, Warrington's coming up to 130. So Cacace is the natural super featherweight here. He's going to have a size advantage. He's going to be stronger. He's going to be a bigger puncher. Not a massive puncher himself, Cacace, but definitely a bigger puncher than Josh Warrington. So he's going to have those advantages on his side. Warrington, as I said, can take a shot, and his engine is amazing. So I can't see Cacace stopping him. I don't think he's strong enough or big enough to kind of stop Josh Warrington. Now I could be wrong, but I just think in this one, I think the inactivity and the inactivity mostly is going to kind of cost Warrington here, especially coming off a stoppage. I think it can't do him really any favors. Maybe I would have liked to see him take one fight to acclimatise to 130 before taking a world title fight. But if you look at the champions at the weight at the in the weight division, Kakachi is probably the most favourable if he was to fight for a world title. But that's no disrespect to Anthony Kakachi. He's still an outstanding fighter. And I do think he'll beat Josh Warrington. I think he beats Josh Warrington on points. And I can see it being really close. I think these two are really in similar levels here. And yeah, they're similar levels of quality. So I can't see it being a really close fight and an outstanding fight. I'm gonna say this for me is fight of the night. That's a bold statement on a big card, but I think, as I said, with the styles about men, I think this is gonna win fight of the night in a grueling 12-round war that Anthony Kakachi will win on points, a very close points decision, to retain his IBF super featherweight title that he won against Joe Cordina, and move on to maybe unifications or maybe a really big mandatory fight against Sugar Nunez, which would be likely if he came through this. For either man, Nunez is waiting next in a dangerous fight, but that's for another day. Let's enjoy this one first, and let's enjoy this whole night. So yeah, that's just my reaction to Josh Warrington facing Anthony Cacace, the IBF World Super Featherweight Champion. Warrington looking to become a two-weight world champion, a two-weight three-time champion. And yeah, both men are bound to have big supports on the night. And as I said, this one has to catch fire. And I think it has fight of the night potential written all over it. So yeah, I'm going for a Kakachi points win. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you going for Warrington to become world champion again, or will the Irishman keep hold of his belt? As always, don't forget, drop us a like on this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I've dropped reactions to the other outstanding fights on the card. The likes of Shiraz, Denny, Kelly versus Smith, Buatsi versus Hutchinson. Of course, the big headline or the big domestic dust-up, Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois for the IBF World Heavyweight title. It's the greatest card the UK has ever seen. It really is, as part of Riyadh season, September 21st. So yeah, give us a like, a subscribe, follow us on all social media, and speak again. Take care.